Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I hear me on another computer, so it must be. How about no, Robin? Yes, maybe. Aha! There you go, and you see a nice island out in the somewhere in far away. There we are. Okay. Alrighty, let's get back to this now. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's open up. What are we opening up here? Oh yes, let's open up. Got to open up something. That's right. We got to reload that side, and we will reload that side. And so let's discuss. We were. Oh, you know what? Can I get it? I can get the beta up on the screen too. Let's do that right now. Let's see. Let's do this too. I'm just putting in a password or two. Let's see if that does it. Yep, there we go. So now let's get. The phones have been even weirder. They're acting like as if we're in emergency mode, which is really irritating. I had to turn them off and turn them on and try to get them to work. And oh my god, 9. Okay. Z. Right there. Oop. Oopsie daisy. Put the wrong spot. Where's Mr. and Mrs. Mouse? There we go. Restore. And there we go. That's cool. That's up. And one more then, and we should be cooking like Gaias. Alright, there it is again. And there we go. Alright, now let's get to, let's see, let's minimize that. Once that's, let's see, let's double do this. Let's crank this up too. There we go. And we are loading up. And we'll see in a few seconds. But we can get the beta up right now. If I minimize that, let's get that out of the way. And let's get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. Lots of junk popping up. There we go. Now let's get that beta back up on the screen. Like so. There we are. Ta-da-da-da. Let's see, like that. Right there. There's the beta. You can see here. Let's get rid of that. You can see we're still in a weekly sell. It's the end of the week. And this is the dollar index, so it's not exactly, what's the best way to describe it? Not going to change course as far as I can tell. There's no reason to. There's no news out there. There's no paranoia out there. What's really funny, I guess, ha 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 ha. What's really funny more than anything else is how the people who are in the financial markets on the TVs, like the fellow from the University of Pennsylvania at Wharton, you know, on Monday, we need to cut. The Fed needs to come and cut 0.75 percentage point today. and then tell us that they're going to do the same thing in September. This is just because Tokyo unwinds. They're saying they've unwound over 2/3 of the $20 trillion swap. And so they say that pretty much, they say almost 3/4 of it is unwound. So that's a pretty big reduction. So all they have on now is maybe 4 or 5 trillion. Just the same way that Deutsche Bank and Citi in New York have had these big, ugly swaps on forever and ever and ever. And now I understand Deutsche Bank's down into the 15, 20 trillion mark, or 15 trillion mark, something like that. And so, let's see, just check. We. You been there we go. There we are. Just have to send this back. All right, so what we got? Yes. I see Giannis is up there. Robin's up there. We're good. You can see that. And let's go over to the other platform. I want to take a look at the euro because I found it very interesting. Okay, there it is. You can see there's the, is that the euro? No, that's the Great Experiment. Great Experiment tried to get into a sell yesterday but failed at it. Let's see, we have that on the sheet here. I did fix it this morning, but then with the power coming down. Yeah, so it's 9 days. DB. There it is. Oop. Let's try that again. 9 days DB. There we go. And so there's the Great Experiment. All right, now let's go over to the euro. I want to see what the euro is doing. There it is right there. They're trying to inch it way up. It pushed it down yesterday a little bit. Nothing major, but you saw the dollar index is, and let me open up the dollar index on this one too. So, anyway, as I was telling you why I was laughing. So, Jeremy, whatever, I forget his last name. He's a professor at University of Pennsylvania at the Wharton School of Business. And so they're all starting to back off now. They're all starting to realize, oh, wait a second, maybe we were too nervous, maybe we shouldn't have said those things. Now, what's really disturbing is you have people that come on. Let me just stop right there. Also, at the same time, Goldman Sachs, which I love to hate, came out and said, yeah, maybe a 1/4 point in September now for sure. That's about it. That was what they said on Monday when it was Black Monday in Tokyo. And so, what I find fascinating is now all the scared ones in the financial channels who were beating the drum, the world's come to an end. How did we describe it yesterday? I think I described them as drug addicts on interest rate, on money. They're drug addicts. That's all they are. They sounded like drug addicts. The moment you pull the needle away or you take their dime bag away so they can't shoot up, what do? They go totally out of their minds. Oh, you must cut 3/4 of a percentage point right now. Oh, and 3/4 of a percentage point in September. In other words, they're like drug addicts. And that's why I do the Dukascopy webinar. Because someone in the financial markets, like Robin and I, who've been here for almost 50 years. Robin's over 50 years now. And for me, it's in the 47 maybe or something like that. Yeah, 48, 46, something like that. 77? We're in 24. So 47, 46 years, something like that. And so, for us, it's like nobody with any brains would say anything like that. But they are on the television all day long, every day, telling you how the world is coming to an end. Or this is wonderful. Quantitative easing. They don't even use the word quantitative easing anymore. You don't even hear them say it. It's like the ghost story at a camp for children. They won't even mention what's going on. Not at all. So, The only way I can describe this is the way I just did. Markets are run by addicts. That's what that's going to be our title today. It's run by addicts. We'll have to find a better word that matches up with the addicts. In other words, markets. Let's see. We'll find a word. It's like not drug addict, but we're going to find a word over the next hour that will fit that, because that's exactly who talks to the general public every day. A bunch of addicts, and all they can see is if it doesn't go up, it's bad. So in other words, never sell, buy forever. It's like when Janos went through the Turkish market, the bazaar, and he said they pulled price tags. They're gone. All it says now is negotiate with us. So in other words, they know that the market fluctuates. But do our talking heads on CNBC and Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance and New York Times and Wall Street Journal, even the Wall Street Journal was a little antsy. It was like they need to cut a half a percentage point, and at least by September they need to do it. They need to do it, and they need to tell us now. In other words, they need to put it in the pocket of our financial talk heads on the networks all around and all the newspapers. Let them know right now it's happening. It's going to be cut. Now, doesn't that sound like some addict or some child that has learned to eat a donut and now needs the second donut? And you're like, no, dinner is in an hour. No, I need another donut right now. And it's like, no, you don't need another donut. I do. I need another donut right now. I must have it. And so that's what they want. They need interest rates to go down, and they need it now. And that's exactly what we're looking at. And so it's a real disappointment. As you can see there, what do we have up on the screen? That's the S&P 500. And you can see it's having a hard time. The futures contract is having a hard time getting into a buy, even with it going up in value. And I guess I could say this, traders, why? Look at that. The weekly is still in a sell. It is trying to turn up today. And if they bring it down, and let's say they just close down a little bit, and everybody will be like, whew, wow, at least it, what it did is it basically, let's show you what it's really doing with a little drawing of a line. See that right there? That was Friday's close right there. And what did they do? They brought it back to Friday's close. Let's change that color. Can we change that color? I know I can change the color. There it is. And let's put a yellow, make it yellow. Okay? And so there was Friday's close right there. Now, obviously, we've been in a sell in this product for a while, and same thing with the weekly. This is the S&P 500 futures contract. And then what we do is we go over and we see the equity one, which only trades for 6 or 7 hours a day. The New York Stock Exchange hours. It's right there. There we go. Cancel. And so let's see, like that. And then let's take a look at that. Right there. And same thing. If we draw that line again, see it's a little shy of it. It's just having a little problem there getting. Oh, let's make it yellow too. Whoa! No. There we go. And we'll go to yellow there. And so we're seeing the settlement was. Right there. There we go. There's the settlement. Went up and smacked it. And now I'd imagine what it'll do is it'll be like, try to bounce down a little bit and see if it can break it. They'll be, with the New York Open, that'll be interesting to see if they take that back up. Let's take a look at the QQQ, the Tech 100. That's the epicenter, basically, to a great extent, of the financial markets now for a couple of years now. That is truly the epicenter. And let's see, let's put that up. It looks about the same as the S&P right there. And what we'll do is we'll look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average too. You can see right there it's doing the same thing right there. Just kind of meandering. not really getting any real grip on the action itself. But the addicts, what is it? There's other names for an addict when they're not junkie, but I mean something respectable, like hedge fund. In a hedge fund way, we'll discuss it. The title will sound like it comes from a hedge fund. By the end of this webinar, we'll have it figured out in hedge fund language. I think that was one of the titles this week was hedge fund language. And today it's going to be addiction, market addiction. And there we go. Now we're getting it. It's market addiction to interest rates. Now, we've always known that markets pay attention to interest rates. That's not an alien concept whatsoever. But the level of, I guess it's really not, it's this market addiction to the Fed. That's what it really comes down to. They see the Fed as all-knowing, all-seeing, the father, it's the mother, it's the, it's their whole universe. In other words, when you are in need, run right to the Fed, and the Fed will take care of you. Matter of fact, we're going to put that up there right now as a title. That's what the title's going to be. Because that's how they would say it in a hedge fund. They would say, there's a lot of... Matter of fact, they would probably even would use the word addiction. And basically you could say that would be very harsh too, but it could be hedge fund language. And so markets addiction to the Fed. And that is really what it comes down to. Or it could be the other way around. You could blame the Fed, Fed's addiction to the market. I like that one better. That's even better. See that? This way you're not blaming the market, you're blaming the Fed. Fed's addiction to markets. Because who's really doing this? I guess, what it really comes down to is we all know that the child is going to cry for the second donut. We all know that the drug addict is going to beg for his next or her next hit. And obviously, in the end, who satisfies that? The drug dealer, the parent, whoever, but is it the child's fault or is it the parent's fault? Is it the Fed's fault or is it the market's fault? I have to say, who's feeding the addiction? The Fed, the government. Okay? So, in essence, it's the Fed's addiction to the markets. It needs to play the ultimate. It needs to be the buyer of last resort. It needs to do that to control the world markets so that the politicians can float more bonds to spend on their projects. I heard a great question this morning asked because of the vice president and the presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate. And the statement was, can you show us a socialist or communist country that has been good to the masses, where they live a happy life? Where is it that, where is the socialist? I mean, we know Sweden, which used to be the excuse, is now a capitalist nation again with they gotten rid of the socialists to a great extent out of their governments, right? And so show us a country that's not being propped up, and that's probably the answer to it right there. Some talk that we might see another crash by end of month, but I wonder if happens, how low would it go? Now that's a good question, but again, the Fed, the only reason the markets dropped 33% back in the beginning of COVID was they had an excuse to get rid of the put funds. There were 5 major put funds, and they were selling puts naked for years, and they were making billions, and the Fed hated it and kept on. When the reporters would ask, Powell, and before that Yellen, about them, they said, no, there is no such thing as a free put from the Fed. Okay? And so they denied it themselves. In other words, they knew that they were there. And matter of fact, I remember Powell warning them. I remember there were actual meetings where he was being interviewed about it, on a Fed day, and said, don't sell puts naked because we are not guaranteeing puts. Okay? And that went on for about 2 years. Okay? And then COVID came along. And, the Democrats invented COVID, and they brought it to us as a way of getting rid of, like the way they got rid of Biden. See, now it doesn't sound too crazy, does it? Who's the president of the United States? Joe Biden, right? How many terms has he been president? 1. Where's he now? On a beach in Rehoboth in Delaware. Why isn't he campaigning? Because they removed him. Did the voters remove him? No. Who removed him? Not even crickets make noise. Who removed him? There's no... People ask that still. Who removed him? All he did is put out a statement. It's time for a younger generation. That was what he said. It's time for another younger generation. Well, Mr. Trump found a younger generation. He has a 39-year-old. I think the vice president under Mr. Biden... Harris, I think she's 61. That's not a younger generation. 39 is. 35 is. Not 61. Same thing with the vice president that they've chosen. Mrs. Harris has chosen. So getting back to the markets. What communist or socialist nation? How big of an exchange did Sweden have? Not much. Was it as big? What's amazing? The kroner trades 4% a day. The Chinese yuan trades 2.5% a day. So does that make Sweden the second largest economy in the world? See what I'm saying? So I heard that today. I thought that was very interesting, and that nobody can really identify a country that is functioning on socialism or communism right now that's made their citizens happy for the last 100 years or 200 years the way the United States has. And so the politicians can't handle that. They like power. They've had this power since the 1880s, the Democrat Party, ever since Jim Crow. And now we're coming to the end of it, and they are very unhappy. They cannot relate to the idea of losing power. They control the Fed, the FBI, the CIA. They control the Justice Department. They control all the entities. But they don't control the Constitution. And they don't control the population as much as they wish they did. So what did they do? They dropped our borders and allowed millions, maybe up to 20 million, have come in illegally. And they're allowing them to register to vote, which is illegal also. So, when you want to try to figure out who is the addict, is it the market itself? No. It's the government and the Federal Reserve. Who hires the Federal Reserve people? The government. They pretend to be an independent source, but they are the drug pusher. They need to be able to sell it to somebody. They need to be able to hook their clients so that they're begging at the door. Please, 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 lower rates. And you need to do it today. One of the most prestigious at one time universities and graduate schools and undergrad, Wharton, their lead man, their lead professor, Jeremy Irons? Jeremy, what's Jerry's name? I had a friend that was a professor with him, but this guy has gotten, off the rails. Wharton, let's try that. I'm going to get his name right. Maybe we'll even get a picture of him up on there. Wharton School, UP. see. There it is. There we are. Philadelphia. Wharton School of University. There it is. And let's see, Jeremy. Let's see if we can do this. We'll get his picture up there. He was crying like a child. You know, this is someone they put on TV to tell us how the world really is, not how the world could be. He's always telling us his version of the world, like the Fed. And now, you know, 5 days later, after Black Monday in Tokyo, where they unwound 3/4 of the $20 trillion swap that I talk about here for years, but nobody else seems to talk about it on the channels. You know, Jeremy, Professor, here we go. Professor, there it is, Jeremy Siegel. There he is. Let's see if we can put this up on there somehow. And let's see, if I go like this. Let's do this. I'm going to go over to here and do it. And we're just going to put them up on there for a second. I'm not trying to make fun of them. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring some reality to our audience here, as usual. Doc is way ahead of the curve, just like our mathematics is. And, you know, we're always, you know, on the cutting edge of markets in many different ways. There it is right there. There we go. Let's just switch the picture. And I'm not saying bad things about the fellow, but what I'm saying is he is an addict. We know he's an addict. He's a drug addict. He's an interest rate addict of the market. And you know, unfortunately, you know, the Federal Reserve feeds him, you know, his you know, shot every day. That's what it comes down to. Some talk. So anyway, Yano says, you know, some talk about a crash. You just saw it. It happened. And it's done. And, you know, we'll see. You know, is there other reasons for the markets to go down? Sure. You know, you're looking at a lot of products that are up 100%, 150%. I saw somebody yesterday. Remember a couple of days ago I was saying, I think I was saying it on Monday or Tuesday. You know, if you don't sell something you're making money in, when it's making money, then when you go sell it and when it's not making money, you lose money. You know, and so, you know, so a lot of these products are up 100%, 150%, 200%. You know, they were up 300% for the year. You got to take some profits. So they needed to unwind so they could get cash in Tokyo to basically take off the. Does anybody? You know what? I need to mention about the $20 trillion pair, or I'm sorry, the swap. What they were doing is they were printing money and then lending the money and collecting the interest. So they were printing money out of paper, right? Not putting any real money up. I mean, it was real money. The yuan is way the yen is way more a currency than, say, you know, the Chinese yuan. It's the second most. It's the third most. Let's see. The euro is the second most active currency in the world. Dollar's number 1, euro's number 2, and the yen is number 3. Number 4, the British pound. Number 5, the Canadian dollar. Number 6, is that the way it goes? Yeah. Number 6, the Swiss saltine or Swiss franc. Number 7, the kroner. So, you know, when it comes to, you know, you know what's amazing is that the Turkish lira and the Chinese yuan may trade about the same amount every day, which is really scary when you think about it. Here we have the Chinese yuan, right, who's fixed to the dollar now, whereas obviously the Turkish lira is not fixed to the dollar, and it is gone from 1 to 37. And so if the Chinese yuan wasn't fixed, they wouldn't be more. I don't think that country would be economically any bigger than, say, you know, Japan or Great Britain or something like that, or Germany more likely, Germany or Japan, that type of thing, individually. There's no doubt about it. China is not the powerhouse that they talk about. They've been paid by the Americans to grow because we wanted to stop the communism, and everything was fine until X came in, and then he thought, well, you know what, communism is going to be forever, and we're going to be the kingdom of the world, and the hell with the Americans. We've got them in our pocket. Biden has taken a lot of money from the Chinese. So that's not the reason he's not running, because no one ever says that. Have you heard anybody say Biden is not running for president because of all the money he's taken from China? No. He just said he's going to turn it over to a younger generation. I kind of think of Kamala as our generation, so that's not the younger generation. Could you go through the Apple? Sure. Yeah, I'm just on a rampage today because basically here's the Apple there. There's the Apple. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, so this is still not updating. That's yesterday. And it's in a daily buy for a couple days now. You can see it on the spreadsheet. Where's the spreadsheet? I like, Janos, how you pushed me to use the spreadsheet every day, too. It's good. So it's the fourth day. There it is right there. 2 weeks in a sell. Let's see where the weekly is, too. And it's 4 days in a buy. And so let's take a look at the weekly, too. It's hiding right underneath there. It's very close. You see that right there. Where's that? Still minus 0.1 and change. So the weekly is still pressing down. Very close, though. Let's go over to the other platform. Open Sesame. And take a look at it there. And you know what I want to look at is I want to see if the Dow is higher than Friday's close of last week. That's what I want to see. There is Apple. You see Apple's doing that same. Well, actually what's fascinating there is Apple's close on Friday. It was in a sell. And it went into the daily buy on Monday on the sell-off. So that's pretty cool, I always love it when it does that. I'll just put a line in there for the hell of it. Right there. So it went into the daily buy on the sell-off day. And I want to just take a quick look to the diamond. Let's do the diamond on the beta. Let me just show you what I'm looking at on the other platform. Here it is. Right there. And it's trying, you can see it's just underneath, it's minus there, just like it is on the beta. And let's go take a look at, I want to see where the diamond is, and then we'll go to Meta. There's the diamond. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, there's Friday. That's the Friday close. So it's doing the same thing as the other two indices, just flirting with the edge. All right, now let's go over to Meta. Oh, you didn't see that. Let's put it up on there now. Meta, right there. Meta is in a buy for 3 days, is it? Looks like it's 3 days. Let's put it, oh yeah, three days in a daily buy. Let's highlight it right there. There it is right there. See that? 3 days in a daily buy, 3 weeks in a weekly sell. You can see the weekly sell is still in a weekly sell. Let's, where's that mouse at? You can see it right there. Minus 1.9 and change. Let's see, where else can we go from there? There's the Meta. Then let's check out the Google. And Google is right there. I think it went in to sell Google. Yeah, it's right underneath it. There's the Google. It's in a daily sell for 1 day, right there. You can see it right there. Weekly sell, pressing down. And let's see what it's doing this morning over on As you can see, Apple is down for the, it's starting the day off down. Let's see what Google's doing. Let's widen that out. Looks like a second day easily developing into the sell at the moment. I'll put it up on there's the other platform right there. And you see that pressure on it. And it's been in the sell since up in here. And obviously it's lower than when it went into the sell. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. And then let's see, Tesla. Dailies now look like they're all, well, Apple's holding up. It's doing all right. Let's show it to you again. Right there. See, it's holding up with no problem. Whereas the other two are pushing. There's the Meta. It's still in a buy also. And the Google is in a sell and trying to, it's lower today than it was yesterday. So it's feeling the pressure. But this is the pre-market. Remember, they're thin in the pre-market. Once the pre-market opens, then you have, a much clearer and cleaner, information source, Let's see. And then what was the next one? Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Put it up over here on the beta. I'll put it up over here on this. You see there, it's also down, and on the beta, the same gig. It's on a down, and you can see the weekly still on a weekly sell for. See, where's it at? So it was 1 week in a weekly sell there, and it's in a daily sell there. And then you can see it here on the beta, right there. And traders or just friends and so forth, if anybody would like to have a copy, take a look at the beta, you're welcome to. Just contact us at Chicago Quant Technologies right there. You can contact us there. Email us, talk to Robin. He'll give you the beta for a bunch of weeks, for free, for free. And so last one. What was the last one you were looking? Oh, Nevada, NVDA. It's up higher, I think. There it is, right there. Nevada, still dancing around. I guess it went into the sell 2 days ago. Let's see what that says right there. That's in the sell there, and the second day in the sell there, and it's been in a weekly sell for 4 weeks now. Up here in the 4 weeks is basically back to here. Let's see if we can shrink this down like that. There's 4 weeks. Let's find the date on that. That is the 7th. Let's find you the 7th here. 7th is right there, basically. So it went into the weekly sell right here up at this top. And what was that? That was the 135 area on the weekly sell. And I think the all-time high is 143 now. And so, it wasn't a sell for a lot of that, too. Let's see if we have that. No, we don't go back that far. We're going to try to make that go back further. So, you can see the pressure on it. And I think that's the top there. Let's just double check that. What is that? That is July 6th, right? So when we go back and look at on the other platform, let's do that. We'll take a look at Nevada on that. NVDA. Okay. Put one more up. Go like that. Go like that. NVDA. And let's see what NVDA looks like. Right there, there's Nevada. Open Sesame. There's the all-time high right there on the 11th. You can see the peak on the beta was the 6th. Then the next week it was breaking down. And you can see here, we weren't that far off actually, were we? No, wait a minute. Let's just do this again. Where's that mouse at? We got to contract that tighter. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so there is the all-time high right there. That's what it is. And we went into a sell that day. It went down, but we were in a weekly. Fast was breaking the manifold, but still wasn't getting damaged because you can see it did the A, B, and now we're in that big C correction of it. And you can see, it kept us relatively safe. It put us back into the buy for here, and it ran back up to there, which is cool. And then from there, we went into a daily sell there again, and this time the weekly joined in right in there. So we went into the weekly sell up in here, and it smack-a-doodled it down to the $90 area and went into a daily buy there. And now we are back in the saddle again. Where's it on the sheet? Let's go take a look at it. Back in the saddle again. Right there. 3 weeks in the sell. This is the 4th week. And I think did it miss right there? What is that? That is, no, I think that actually is the sell, isn't it? Minus 0.05. Now that's right, because that's a -2. So we should move we don't even have a red line on there. No wonder. But the chart, let's steal one of these red lines. Let's put one in there. There it is right there. So Nevada's a second, this is the 3rd day going into a sell. That's what that is. It doesn't seem to be moving anywhere in particular, so this should be 2 DS. There we are. There we go. So, it's showing pain. It's in a weekly sell, daily sell. It's trying to tell us they're going to still probably take some profits. It's at 105 after coming off 90 from Black Monday in Tokyo. That's what they're calling it now, Black Monday. So, as the winds kick up again, we've got tornado warnings all around us. My phone has done all kinds of weird things throughout this webinar. It's giving us warnings, and we even had a hiccup in the electrical system where it blew out for a second and then came back on again. So we were able to get back up on here and do our webinar live from southern New Jersey. It's DocDow from Chicago Quant Technologies and our parent, Duke Ascapi, who lets us talk free every day about the markets without hiding the facts. Isn't that a good thing? A brokerage house that will actually allow you to hear the real news, not the fake news. Not like Jeremy Siegel, who sat there and cried, "Oh, they've got to lower rates today at 3/4. They need to come out this afternoon and let us know." They can see all. The Fed is all seeing, all knowing. You have $1 million in Bitcoin and you move it from you to somebody else. They see it. Because what happens is that people, unless they transfer, as a matter of fact, not only that, they see it when it gets converted. They can see it where it goes. They can't tell who's got it. But then when the moment it starts to move into the marketplace and say they see $400,000 coming in, they see the 400,000. They have a good idea where it's going. They look at the person that's got the 400,000, all of a sudden they're moving it and they're going, wait a minute. They don't move 400,000 that normal every day. It's not that hard. The Federal Reserve can see the whole world. It has no problem doing it. It has the technology to do so. And now, not only does it have the technology to do so, but now that the New York Stock Exchange is gone and all the future exchanges are merged, and there's no buyer of last resort because they flood. You know why there's no buyers of last resort? They flooded the mutual funds, the hedge funds, the retirement funds with cash, overnight cash, what they call the Fed window. And they lend it to them for free now for years. Can you imagine, what's that one in Chicago that's moved to Florida? Citadel, right? Is it Citadel? Yeah, Citadel. With, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. Let's see. I can't think of the money manager's name, but they have some crazy number, trillions in management, or a trillion in management. And what do? They lend them like $1 billion overnight just to hold positions, just for free, so that they'll be a buyer like all the rest of them are buyers. So, it's like, it's a game that's being played by the Federal Reserve and the politicians to keep the rest of the markets in the world on the drug. That's what it really comes down to. Oh, the stock markets have opened. Let's take a look and see how they look right now. Right now. And you know what we should do? Before we leave, we're going to show you all the currencies. And then we're going to show you... So there's the euro. It's going to be in a weekly buy again. Mr. and Mrs. Cable look like, it's flirting close. It's trying to get into the weekly sell. And they're lifting it up. And I noticed that the performance between that and the euro GBP lifted is moving down. Now today it's popping back up again, but they knocked it down a little bit. It's in a daily sell for 2 days, but it's in that weekly buy. So obviously the euro is going to outperform it again. We go over to the Swiss. You can see there the Swiss in a buy, still moving up, but not bad, but it's still in that weekly sell, so no worries there. You can go over here and you can see the Mr. and Mrs. Yen. It's bouncing back up calmly this time, down from the 60s. It went down all the way to, what did it do? It went down to 41. So from 62 to 41. And they've taken off a good 2/3 of the $20 trillion swap that was really hurting them. And they're falling in line, I guess. They're getting money now from the Fed instead of the marketplace. That's all it comes down to. They're marching them in line, getting them in line, hanging out with the rest of the gang. And so then from there, the great experiment is flirting with the daily sell. It tried to get into the sell yesterday and failed. It's made, this week it has made, that's 4. Yeah. This week it made 2 all-time highs again. Right there and right there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it did it 2 days this week. And you can see it's trying to get back into that sell. It's cleanly in the weekly buy and could care less about anything, because this is the great experiment by the former prime minister, now the president, Erdogan. And then we go to South Africa, and you can see it's been on that downwardly slope all week long. And, starting on Tuesday, it started pressing down. And you can see gold and silver and so forth. We go over to them. And there it is. Gold lifting up because the South African rand is heading down. Got into the buy yesterday. Now, what's wrong with that thing again? It was in a buy yesterday. I have to fix that. And you can see here it has fallen away from being in a weekly sell. It's back up above the 0 line again. And you can see the silver. Let's do this. Let's save that like that. And we'll reload it. And gold right there. Yes. And then we go with we want to update it. I won't update it until I make sure it's clean. See, if I go like that, I think it straightens it out. Watch this. If I go into make it treat it like a grain. Talk about crazy. That's what I have to do. I have to treat it like it's a grain. Alright, there it is. Let's see what it does. Let's straighten it out. Let's see, close. No, it didn't straighten it out. Alright, we'll get that fixed. And so, but it's coming out of that weekly, so there's no problem there. And let's go take a look at, did we look at silver? There's silver. Silver is in that second day of a buy, trying to go back into the sell. They need to go back to norm. Poor Jerry Siegel. He's all freaked out. He's got his head all excited. He needs more interest rates, and they need to be lower. We need those interest rates lower now. Please, my Blondie, please, 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 please. Yes, indeed. You addict. Go back to the dealer, Mr. and Mrs. Fed. All right, and there it is right there. Copper trying to lift up. I guess they're floating some. Wouldn't surprise me with this administration that they're floating. They lend money to China too. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Make the gang feel happy. And then from there, we go over to the platinum. There's the platinum. And platinum went into the buy yesterday and is flirting with a sell again today. And then we drive over to the energy sector. You can see it's not caring. It don't care. It's like a honey badger. It don't care. And there's like a 45-mile gust wind. We're getting close to Category 1 hurricane status around here. Or tornado. I'm sorry. Tornado status. And then, let's see. Where are we at? Woo! And so then from there we go to heating oil. There's the heating oil. Kind of a little bit down today, but no major shakes there. And it's in a weekly sell also. Oh, let's go back to the crude oil. The weekly is not getting into a weekly buy. So whatever bounce is going on here, maybe it's nervousness for the weekend. Maybe Iran wants to attack Israel on Shabbat. Something like that. I don't know. Who knows with them. I heard, this is what I heard. I heard that would you believe that the Biden, they said the Biden administration, but he's not running for president anymore. So he's still president though, but Mrs. Harris is now running for president. But I understand that the Biden administration told Iran and the mullahs that they are considering regime change if they attack Israel. That's probably like on Wednesday or Tuesday why they came out and said something like, we're kind of reevaluating our idea about attacking Israel right now. We'll make them pay in blood someday. Someday we'll do it, but not today, and not this week, and not last week, but someday. So that's got them all shook up. Yeah. And we're done. There's all the products except for Natty Gas. There's Natty Gas, and you can see it's up for 3 days and still in a weekly sell. So this is Doc from North America saying happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends. All right, catch us Monday, TGIM, and we'll be here again talking about the addiction of the Fed. Ta-ta for now.